Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel, Life Changing Stories. I'm very excited. Today, I'm talking to Tarryn Inggs, who is the co-creator of Mission Limitless and recently launched All Hearts Healing. She's a lover of nature and all sentient life, humanitarian at heart. She loves empowering and inspiring people to choose to heal and step into their sovereign power and become the best authentic version of themselves. She's a fierce self-love ambassador, continually reinventing herself, pretty much like Madonna. Loves to leave every being better than she found them. Welcome to the show, Tarryn.
Thank you, Michael. Really appreciate us having this chat. So, yeah, it's been an interesting journey. And
Yeah, tell us a little bit about
where
what
would you
you're
like me to
doing.
begin?
Yeah, what is this Mission Impossible about?
So, I've always been a seeker
Yes.
and, finding truth. And I always felt that I would know what it felt like by the way it felt like in my body, because we recognize truth by the way we feel.
Yes.
And I didn't really feel like I belonged here. I'll go into my story a little bit later, but it was always like something didn't make sense or sit right with me. And, we go on this journey and we find bits and pieces of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's always like this call where there was something bigger that I was meant to be a part of and I couldn't quite understand. And it was from very young. And I understood energy. There was much more to life than what we were experiencing in this like illusion, we call it. And so much is looked for externally. And when I found the self-love tools and disciplines, where everything that you use the term so within, so without.
Yeah.
And people use that term, but they don't really, I don't feel understand what that is. We project from the inside, and we've all
Yeah.
experienced like traumas and all of these kind of things, and we end up adopting those belief systems or the way other people have treated us and operate that way in the world.
Mm.
And there's so much healing that needs to take place, so much self-love, and self-love is basically honoring your higher self, your soul body,
Yeah.
your bigger purpose, not your identity or the external.
Yes.
And that was an absolute game changer for me and transformed my life in the most incredible way. And I just felt more people really needed to know about this. And I started off as the quantum butterfly. We've now moved it to Mission Limitless because we all are powerful, limitless beings.
Yes.
And I've been sharing the content on social media for the last 5 years. Um, and kind of took me into deeper healing modalities because everything's energy.
Mm.
And that's where I kind of flowed into all hearts healing. I've been working with PMF, which is powerful electromagnetic frequencies, for the last 2.5 years. It's non-invasive, there's no side effects. Basically anything in your body that has a dis-ease is just stuck energy. It's energy that's not flowing. And if you can use a device that assists you energetically to kind of oxygenate, release, open the channels, then it's a very natural way and powerful way of
Yeah.
healing.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I always tell my clients, we wake up in the morning, right? And then we go outside and then we see the sun is shining. So we're in a good mood. And then the next day we wake up, we go outside, we see it's all cloudy and miserable, and we go, oh God, now I'm in a bad mood. And that's not the way to live life. You can't dictate the environment outside of you. You have to fix what's going on inside. So you wake up, you feel good, and no matter what it's like outside, you must feel good. And I think that's exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to get people to understand that that is where you should start and where you should focus. Get the internal right, and every day, even if it's cloudy, it's going to be sunny because the sun's just behind the clouds. So,
Yeah.
so that's a lovely philosophy. It's a lovely way of helping people. And I know you work with your partner in Mission Limitless.
Yes, Ben.
You guys
Uh,
together?
yes. So we share a lot of that content. I'm more out there treating people with PMF and horses and animals. All heart healing is the name I gave it because anything with a heartbeat can receive the healing leverage
Oh,
technology,
wonderful.
which I
That,
love.
love that.
So he's more building everything on the back end, and then I'm out there kind of connecting with people in the physical, which is an amazing kind of complementary function. But
Yeah,
it's just getting people to also realize that, we need to slow down, we need to be more in the present moment. Connecting with nature. Mother Nature is our host. It's not this rock floating in space. It's a living being. And it's our mom, it's our mother. Like if you cut our lung open, it looks like a tree branch. So connect with the trees, show
Mm,
gratitude. The veins in our body are the rivers on planet Earth. So within, so without. We are all connected. There is no separation. So wearing shoes the whole time actually makes us sick because we're not having that maternal connection. So same as when a woman has a baby, that skin to skin contact as they're born is so important. And that
yeah.
is exactly what that connection that we should maintain every day, even as adults. We kind of trade our innocence and our childlike wonder for adulthood. And adulting, quite frankly, sucks. You know what I mean? When we're tiny, we want to grow up and be older. And when we're older, we're like, oh my gosh, I would love to be an innocent child again because there's no
Yeah.
worries. They're always in the present moment. They're never
Yes.
worrying about anything.
Yes. And yeah, I'm just inspired to take my shoes off and go stand on the grass here and get some grounding. So this childlike energy that you're talking about and growing up, and I suppose there's so much about trying to stay young and longevity and all that, but it's all looked at the outside, the supplements and all that type of stuff. But I assume, like you're talking now, I got this vibe that's, yo, let's be childlike and you'll stay young forever, which is quite
Yeah.
nice. And that's the way to go. Always have that seeker mind that you were talking about, right? Yes.
Yeah, just to be curious,
Just to be curious.
and be creative.
Yeah.
That is what's so important. And stress ages us, but age is actually not built into our DNA. We
Mm.
age because we believe we do.
Yeah.
The whole system is like focused on retirement and all this kind of stuff. So you focusing on that you've got a limited period of time here. And I
Yeah.
mean, we are immortal beings on a soul level. The
Mm.
meat suit is temporary,
Yes.
but and that's another thing that we share so much about with Mission Limitless is dissolving belief systems.
Yeah.
Because that is the mind, and there's so much reverence to the mind, unfortunately, in the system. But the new operating system and the new place we're going, it's the heart. We
Beautiful.
need to learn to feel our way through things and
Mm.
not think, because our thoughts are just limiting belief system.
Yeah.
It was interesting because so many people say to me, Tarryn, like, tell me what to do. And I'm like, the best advice I can give you is trust you.
Yeah.
Trust your body, trust your heart, trust how you feel. I had a conversation with an amazing lady that I recently connected with. I'm doing a lot of remote healing sessions with her in the UK. She bought an Esculapis from me, which we'll touch on a little bit later. And she's been vegan for 7 years. And she said, like, her body has been craving meat. And she said she just had to like buy this big steak and eat it this past week. And she said
Yes.
she felt so good.
Yeah.
And I just said to her, I'm so glad you did that because you've got to trust your body.
Mm.
Like what feels good for me or what is my truth isn't someone else's truth. I can't project what I feel is right onto somebody else. And that's where the empowering comes in, because when people learn to love themselves and trust themselves, they're not seeking external validation. They have that internal trust, that internal guidance. And it doesn't really matter what anyone else says. Like you've got that personal relationship with your heart and you make those decisions. A very important thing, and this can be triggering to people in moments, but as I've been more of a seeker, I've let go of belief systems and assumptions and thinking I know anything. And, in this process of evolution we're going through, the right brain is overtaking the left brain. The left is the reptilian, it's the logical side, it's attached to kind of the old system. The right brain is the creative, it's the connection to source, it's the divine intelligence. So that's actually taking over the left, and that's becoming one uni-brain, one hemisphere.
Yes.
And without red meat, it's literally impossible for that to take place. Now, for those of us that have gone down different rabbit holes, the system has known this time is coming.
Yeah.
And they put beliefs in place to keep us ungrounded. Red meat is very grounding. We have a contract with the animals. I do not agree with how they're treated whatsoever, but we can transform through gratitude of that animal giving us life.
Yes.
To provide us nutrients and to support us through this process. It gives a very different dynamic to eating with the idea of fear. And that's why I say to her, like, we have to let go of all these belief systems. You know, I don't have belief systems around food. If I want a piece of chocolate cake for breakfast, I'll have it.
Exactly.
You know, if I don't want to eat for the day, I won't eat for the day.
And
I
look how
don't have
healthy
any...
you look.
Thank you. But it's just the belief systems that come with all this other stuff. Because our cells and our bodies are listening to us all the time.
Yeah. I'm a
Our
firm
self-talk
believer.
is so important.
Yeah. I'm also a firm believer you have to create your own belief systems, but even in creating those, you must be able to let them go for new ones.
Yeah, because you limit yourself.
Exactly.
You know? And you basically have to forget about everything you think you know and just be open to change constantly.
And what life
feels
has to offer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And be limitless. Wow. I wonder where I've heard that before. Well, how did you get here? How did you get into this place of helping people and inspiring people to think for themselves and feel with their gut? What's your story?
Interesting. So from very little, I, for lack of a better term, had a superhero complex. I'm an Aquarian, and maybe that's where the humanitarian heart comes from. But all I wanted to do was help. Like, since little, I'd get involved in things that I'd want to make people feel better. And I couldn't understand why bullying took place and people were horrible to animals and people were fighting all the time. And I was like, this is a weird place to live in. And I was always seeking from then, you know, what felt safe, what felt right, what felt like home. And I guess it's very difficult to live in that space. So I played the game. I got into corporate. I was in sales in different industries, and I loved it because I connected with people. As long as I was involved in something that didn't harm, that I believed in, that I was happy to do that. I would never be in a space where I felt I was doing any harm to Mother Nature, anybody else, anything like that. And I continued seeking. You know, I was on a spiritual journey. I think I watched Zeitgeist, which was scary.
Dangerous.
At like age 18.
Beautiful, yes.
I was
Changes
18 and I went,
lives.
oh my gosh.
Yes. Changes
And it opens up all sorts of things. You know, you can either choose the fear or you can choose, you know, how to navigate this and where the answers are. And yeah, I just kept experimenting. You know, it was Reiki, it was past life regression. I've done ayahuasca, it's been mushrooms, it's been everything. And, you know, everything is inside us. All we need is to love ourselves. All we need to learn is to trust ourselves. And the external responds to our internal world. And when I learned that, I was like, okay, like this is really empowering because the system gets us to focus on everything externally.
Yeah.
It's a consumerism system. So, you know, buy more, consume more, you know, all this kind of stuff where there's so little we actually need to be happy.
Wow.
It's a choice. Happiness is a choice.
And so how did you discover all the healing modalities that you currently work with?
So I found out, I came across a lot of the atrocities on the planet, the stuff that's really going on when my daughter was 2 and she's now almost 14. And I realized knowing this stuff was dangerous, and I didn't really speak about it.
Yes.
But when COVID came in and the Q movement came in, and there were a whole lot of people that were really using their voice, I was like, okay, like I need to speak because I've been holding this to myself for such a long time. Um, I was an interior designer. I had a business. I had a bottled water company that was ionized water, an online health and wellness business. But all of those three, my clients were, well, you couldn't connect with people. And back in that time, my clients were restaurants, private homes, events companies and corporates. And all of those were shut down for a significant amount of time. So all those businesses basically ceased to exist in a very short period of time.
Mm.
And from being little, people had always come to me and told me things they'd never told anyone else. I found out I've got some kind of trust gene. People trust me. It's
Hey.
amazing, but I thought this is what I love to do, and this is what I'm good at. And I'd
Mm.
come across self-love disciplines, which the only way I can really put it is I felt like I'd found home. It's almost like that umbilical cord got plugged back in, and I was like, okay, I know why I'm here now. This is what I need to do.
Yes.
Um, and did huge amounts of like online sessions. I don't like the word life coach because it creates a codependent feeling in it, but more empowering people. I was like, let's have 1 or 2 sessions, and then you
Mm.
are tooled up, you're empowered to, really take responsibility and accountability for your own healing, for your own life, for your own stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty much the journey. I was forced to reinvent myself because everything that I was kind of doing for a living disappeared.
Yes.
But I'm super grateful because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
That's incredible. I've interviewed so many people where they've had such a transformational time from the COVID situation and reinvented themselves, and now they're on magical paths, and most of them to help other people, which is quite fascinating.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think
Good.
there were definitely two sides playing out. There was a light agenda and a dark agenda.
Yes.
And the dark agenda achieved so much, but it actually backfired on them in a
Absolutely.
huge way. Um, so people got to slow down, and they got to actually start reevaluating their lives and reevaluating what's important.
Yes.
And had the space to do a little bit of research and really see what was going on.
Fascinating. Lovely. You spoke earlier for some of the listeners, they might not have understood what PMF stands for. Tell us a little bit about the frequencies.
Okay, so PEMF stands for pulse electromagnetic frequencies. So the best example I can paint for everybody is if an opera singer sings and there's a glass on the table, the
Yes.
glass shatters when those frequencies of the glass and the sound match. So what they did was they took thousands of disease cells from different organs, bodies, all that kind of stuff, put it on a petri dish, and recorded at what frequency that cell would implode on itself. And then you can use this device to program those frequencies into it. So you basically sit on it. I've got 2 different devices. So the one I started with is an Esculapis, which most people may have heard about Rife or Skio.
Yes.
So you've got the metal plates on your feet, and you hold the tubes in your hands, and you run a 15-minute program. The nice thing is you can do anything with this. So many people, a big subject now is parasite cleanses.
Mm.
You take ivermectin and you do this and you do this. But what people don't always realize is if you're not precise and consistent, you don't always kill off the parasites. You
Yeah.
disturb them and they move to other organs.
Mm.
And
Well, they
some
lay
medicine.
eggs. They
Yes,
lay
yes.
eggs as well. And if you
And
don't
you got
kill
to
them
do the
off,
right cycle. You got to start
yes,
it at new moon and all that
yes,
kind of stuff.
yes.
And it can become complicated. I know most people, including myself, I forget to take meds.
Mm.
I'll
Yes.
skip a few days and I'm like, did I take you yesterday? Didn't I take you yesterday?
So
Life is
religious the first few days.
and then life takes over.
Correct.
Where, it's like having an at-home natural doctor. You can program it for anything. allergy, sinus, as much as cancers. I mean, a really good friend of mine made the machine, and what I love about it is made it really cost effective for people, because many people can't afford these devices because they're really expensive.
Yeah.
Where this one, isn't. And you can program it with anything. Colds and flu. You can do blood cleansing on it. You can do God consciousness, which is an amazing frequency to calm you down and remove anxiety, put you in the present moment. You have the capacity to put any frequencies in there, whatever you need.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So I started off with that, and then other people say to me, well, what's this is doing for people? Can you treat animals? And you could in a way, but it wasn't really easy or conducive to treat animals with that device, because you've got the foot plates and the hand things, which I then did a lot of research, and I found the Cloud Mat, which is a Swiss-German design product. It is the leading PMF device in its field. It's next generation technology. It took me a while to get it here in South Africa. I was persistent for 7 months, and then I eventually received it. I was very excited. But with this device, anybody can receive the healing on it. I treat a lot of horses, a lot of people. I've put dogs on it. We've treated tortoises, and the healing is significant. I'd done research for about a year before I got it, so I saw the case studies, but I was excited to try it for myself. Unfortunately, fortunately, 2 weeks after I received it, I was attacked by 2 German shepherds.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't a pleasant experience. I love animals, so it was a bit of a shock. They were protection dogs. She didn't feel like they were going to do anything to me, and I don't know if it was because I was carrying this big black bag, whatever. But yeah, they weren't messing around. I ended up with 8 puncture wounds.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of kind of mental trauma around it.
Yeah, of course.
But I had to go to hospital and have, the rabies and the tetanus and all that stuff. But I came home and I instantly got onto the mat. And by day 6 after the incident, I had no swelling, no infection, about 20% of the bruising I should have had. And the
Wow.
scabs that I had were starting to come off.
Sure, that's incredible.
Yeah, so the healing is sped up significantly. It works on the fibroblast tissue, increasing the nitric oxide levels in the body, which
Yes.
speeds up cellular communication. So you've got a very healthy atom and molecule in the body. So the healing really starts from the inside out.
Lovely.
Horses heal really, really quickly because they don't have belief systems. People are a different story, because if you feel energy, if you believe in energy, if you know this technology works, the healing is quite rapid. But
Yes.
those who are skeptical and don't really believe it block their own healing.
The healing
We are
happens.
the controllers of our own universe, so the mat can only do so much. But what it does do with those who are open is amazing.
And yeah, so many people think that healing is like, oh, I've got a broken hand and I need to heal it. That's the physical aspect. But along with that, there's an emotional, a mental, a spiritual aspect that also needs attention. And
Yeah.
people don't realize that they have to focus on all of that so that they can
Yes.
get the real healing.
Yeah. Well,
Good.
yeah, they metaphysical things for it. Often, um, someone will have a throat issue, a thyroid issue, or throat cancer, or something like that. I mean, if they're a smoker, it may contribute, it may not, I'm not sure. But it's often a blocked throat chakra. And I say to them, have you been speaking your truth? And often people, even from little, it's like, children should be seen and not heard.
Yes.
So we don't voice how we feel. We become afraid of judgment, and we start suppressing our emotions. We start suppressing our voices. We don't want to rock the boat. We become people pleasers, and that all manifests in the body, because that's not what we're contracted to do. We're
That's it.
contracted to speak truth. We're
Yes.
contracted to be authentic, but we've become beings who are so disconnected from who we really are because of the system that we've kind of been born into.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have to break all that down and restructure our whole thinking and belief system, which is such a beautiful experience and such a beautiful journey. And then once after you become the seeker, you become the experiencer, and you just appreciate and you become aligned with yourself, the universe, and it's actually such a beautiful adventure. Yes,
It
there's
is.
a lot of sometimes sadness and tears, breaking down those patterns and experiencing the pain that needs to go you need to go through. But yeah, it's so well worth it to get to the other side and live a life of freedom, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and every breakdown leads to a breakthrough, you
Yeah,
know.
love it.
Um, so it's like you're just shedding another layer. And
Yeah.
I mean, I love the journey of the butterfly because, a caterpillar has to basically become mush and
Mm,
disintegrate and totally break down in that cocoon to emerge as the butterfly. I mean, that for
yeah,
me is the most significant of the transformational process.
it's
And it
beautiful.
feels yucky when you turn into mush or when you're having a breakdown or you feel like, it's overwhelming and too much. But through the other side, there are so many gifts.
Yeah, definitely. So what is your message to the world? What would you like to tell people listening to this video? And yeah, what do you want to get out there?
Just for people to realize how powerful they are and how, if I saw something on Facebook the other day, it said, if you could go back to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell them in 3 words? And for me, it would be love yourself.
Wow. Yes.
Um, because we take on so many people's belief systems, we end up judging ourselves through other people's eyes, and nobody wants to be a bad person. We're doing our best in every moment, and when we know better, we do better.
Mm,
And the past and the future don't exist. All we have is the present moment.
yeah.
So we always evolving, we always changing, and just for people to trust themselves, really, really trust who they are. But it takes work. Even figuring out who you are, because so many people are like, who are you? Oh, well, I'm a doctor, I'm a this. No, like, who are you without your house, without your car, without the big title underneath your business card? Like, that's the person I want to know. I don't really care about the rest of it. Like, what's your heart want? What is your heart all about? Like, how do you treat other people?
Yeah.
Um, for me, the rest doesn't really matter. And that's the real person, um, underneath all those masks and
Yes.
all those things.
Yeah,
Yeah, just basically that.
to be yourself. And I think this is why you're there, because you can't actually figure that out sometimes by yourself. You need help. You need someone to kind of like point a direction or just say, yeah, you're on track, go there, go there. So I think that's why healers are
Or, so many
important.
people have our answers are within us.
Yes.
And often if you can just hold space for somebody to share
Mm,
without judgment, without telling them what they're supposed to do, so many people come to their own realizations, but they don't know who to trust.
yes.
They just want a space to actually release. I mean, I've had sessions with people that they've told me things they've never ever told anyone in their whole entire life. And it's such a healing experience because for me, I'm like, rather out than in.
Yes, absolutely.
Holding on to it does not serve anybody. And sometimes when I listen to people's stories and they've held this and they've said, I can't believe I'm telling you this. And I look at it and I'm like going, if I told you what I've done, you would feel completely innocent. You know what I mean? People judge themselves for
Yes.
the tiniest little thing. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, you can let that go. And then obviously, just the awareness of the tools available to them.
Mm,
And it's simple things, grounding. There's so much science behind how healing it is for your body and how it alkalizes your body to spend 15 minutes a day barefoot on the grass. I know you said you're tempted to go and do that. The other day, I was having a conversation with someone, and I'd say to her, like, to release anxiety, just sit on the grass for 15 minutes. I call it ask on the grass. And,
It works.
just do that,
Yeah.
and you'll feel better. And then
Mm.
I had a meeting after that, and the lady I was meeting was running half an hour late, and I was like, sweet, I know there's a park down the road. I had a jacket in my car because we never know what the weather's doing these days. I took it out. I lay on the grass. I got my gratitude journal. I was writing about all the things I was grateful for, and had barefoot. And then for half an hour, I got back. I felt amazing, and carried on with but it was just amazing how the universe opened up that opportunity for me.
Yeah.
I just had the conversation, and I was like, okay, I actually need to do more of that because I've been so busy. And then, whoops, this half an hour comes where I can just spend that time, and it was so rejuvenating.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, we need more of those moments that we need to book into our calendar, that we have to make a priority in our life. I agree. Well, it's been wonderful chatting with you. It's so inspiring. I love speaking to people that are doing amazing work and touching people's lives and helping them open their heart and experience life a little bit better. I'm going to put all your details in the description below so people can get hold of you. And where can they get those that electronic machine?
So I have about 12 left, and then they're finished. If you want to email me or WhatsApp, I'm not often on my mobile phone because I'm often in treatment. So email or WhatsApp is better.
Okay.
And then with the PMF mats, I'm more offering treatments to people. It's not the easiest machine to bring into the country. But I also do remote healing sessions. So if someone does listen to this on the other side of the world, they seem to be really, really powerful in what people are experiencing. Separations and illusion, I incorporate crystals, intention, and music sessions. So yeah, email or WhatsApp is good. Anyone can reach out about anything, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Tarryn. It's been so nice chatting with you. Very inspiring. I'm going to go and sit on the grass after this.
Amazing.
Okay. Have a beautiful day. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for joining us again. Join us again next time on Life Changing Stories. And visit our website, lifechangingcourses.co.za, and get your life moving in another direction. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.